Hey everybody, and welcome to Twin Talk, a video discussion show where twin brothers Chris and Kevin drink and draw while talking about comic books, movies, and all things pop culture. We are your hosts, Chris Hart,
Kevin Hart,
and today we are ranking the live-action Batman suits. Just to be clear, we are ranking all the suits from 1966 to 2022. That's all the live action that we have. I'm not going to be ranking the serial stuff from like the 30s and 40s because they're terrible even by then standards.
Just walking around in pajamas.
The pajamas, yeah. And like I get, granted they're part of the pop culture history, but they didn't make this list. So it's from 66 to 2022. Let's get after it.
We had a better costume at 8 years old.
Exactly. Let's start this list off. We're going from worst to best. Kevin, what's your number 14 here? Let's go.
Nothing suits me like a suit. Number 14, bat nipples. George Clooney, get it out of here. Let's keep going. No, I'm just kidding. This suit, I don't mind it.
The main suit. You're talking about the main suit.
The main suit,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
the main suit. It's obviously, infamous for the bat nipples. It's very blue, so I did appreciate that they were going for more like colorful Batman, because there is something about like the Neil Adams color scheme that I like of the
Yes.
gray and the blue and the yellow, as opposed to just like the black and
I'm a fan of the blue
silver.
too. Yeah.
Even the black with a hint of yellow, like Keaton's Batman. But I did like that they kind of went for a little bit, but it's just too out there. It's just so cheese that it's on the garbage pile of my list, the bottom of the bottom.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. It's at the bottom of my list too. As kids, this was like pretty much like our Batman movie as kids. If you saw our Batman and Robin movie review, we have a special place for this movie in our hearts. And even like the promotion, the comic books that they made, the movie adaptation comic book of this, and the different like lunch boxes and backpacks we had.
All the memorabilia.
He was a cool looking Batman, honestly, but this suit is definitely the like you said, bottom of the barrel. The nipples, even the Forever suit had nipples, but this one was like in your face. This is like nipples. Just this is the one that sunk the ship, right?
Yeah.
So I do like the blue too. I feel like the suit is just. It's nothing special to it.
It did look good on that Doritos bag though as a kid.
Yeah. It like I think from the
merchandising.
neck up, it looks pretty good. But considering the whole suit, bottom of the list.
Number 13, sticking with George Clooney. You like it probably a little bit more than me. I don't know where it's at your list, but the like freeze suit with the gray and the blue.
The ice armor, it's called.
The ice armor. It's an upgrade, we'll say, but it's still towards the bottom of my list. It's just too like campy for me. It's too out there. Like Batman would want to be discreet. There's no way he's going out there this bright looking. It is cool, obviously, for the toy aspect and the nostalgia aspect, but from a child standpoint, it's great. But as like a practical, like if I'm trying to get in the mind from a Batman, bottom of the list.
My number 13 is the Batman Forever Sonar suit. It's a cool looking suit for what it is. It's got like that, like I know you call it out, like the Fang look, right?
Yeah.
On the mask.
I like that.
But it's just too silver to me, too reflective, and then he's got like a gold like bat insignia on the belt. It's nothing special to me. I get what they were trying to do by having the Schumacher films be toyetic and have different suits and stuff, but this one just doesn't do anything for me really.
Because that's my number 12. That's my number 12 is the Sonar suit. It's just a little bit forgettable, but it's still a step above because it's a little bit more serious in tone at least. Maybe it's just Val Kilmer's portrayal of the character, but I did like this one because I do like those like the cheekbones, like the fangs, and even like on the sides of his
cowl,
ear. It looks like bat ears. It's like I don't know what it's like, how to describe it.
The hot toy of it,
it's really
Sonar
cool
suit
looking.
is pretty cool looking.
Didn't he have like eyes too? Like
That's what I'm saying. The hot toy
eyes?
now that it's the Sonar suit, so it has like the
eyes.
like
So
the
it was
grid,
cool.
like the green and black grid on his eyes.
I liked it.
The
Number
hot
12.
toy looks good, but like I said, doesn't do anything for me.
What's your number 12?
My number 12 is the BVS armored suit.
No, I'm just kidding.
As much as I love Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, and it's as cool as it is to see this live action, I'm glad that we have it. There's a couple scenes where, like, when he stops Superman's punch, it looks so badass and cool with that blue lighting in his eyes. But other than the helmet, really, the thing is just too bulky. It's really like a one-time use thing. I didn't even love it in the comic book itself. Like, I don't see this. There's no Bat logo on it. It just has a cool helmet, and like, yeah, it's pretty badass that he fights Superman in it. But overall, aesthetically, it's too bulky. I don't really love it.
That's surprising. It is way higher on my list.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never really been a fan of it.
Number 11. I'm going with, in the same vein, kind of like the worst Batman movies and actors is kind of like at the bottom list of the suits as well for me.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer's mainstream Batman suit. They try and keep in the vein of like serious tone a little bit, so I respect that. It didn't look too bad. It was very sleek looking, I thought. The bat nipples are on this, like you said, very subtle. It's not bad. It's very sleek looking in my opinion, and I don't mind it at all. So, but it's still kind of just like, number 11.
My number 11 is, like you said, higher on my list. The Batman and Robin Ice Armor suit. Before I even get into why I like this suit, I'm going to throw up a collection of hockey jerseys from the 90s that I love. Now that you've seen them, now you know why I love this. I am a sucker for tacky, gaudy, like 90s things. I also love when Batman has these add-ons, right? Like for instance, the Batman and Robin toy line and the Legends of Batman, like all these different add-ons. Like you said, like accessories. Like I like the gadgets, the suits, the vehicles. This thing is so nasty looking, but it's just so cool for like the purpose of it, like him fighting Mr. Freeze. Obviously, they did it just to boost toy sales, but like, do you remember the episode of the cartoon, The Batman, where he fights Mr. Freeze, and at the end he's got like that like blue and white frost?
Yeah, but that was cool.
That's a cool looking suit. This is the best I feel like I'm going to ever get live action of that.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to get the Funko Pop of this because I do love it. Like I said, it's gaudy, it's 90s, it's so tacky that I love it. But yeah, number 11 on my list. I like it a lot more than you do, for sure.
Number 10. This might be a shocker. It's a little bit lower on the list. Michael Keaton's original 1989 Batman suit.
Wow.
I just feel like it's a little dated for my opinion and for my
This is your
preference.
number 10?
It's my number 10. Yeah.
Jeez.
A little bit shocking, yes. It is cool though because he looks crazy in it, I think. You know, when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, this dude's crazy. The same way I saw Robert Pattinson looking crazy. But to me it's just a little bit dated. I obviously love the bat symbol. I think it gets a little bit cleaned up in Batman Returns. Yeah, so that's why it's a little bit lower on my list. But it is still a cool suit, just not one of my favorites.
I always had a gripe with it with like the cowl, like when he like looks down.
It's a little bit awkward.
It like opens, you could like fit a hand in there.
Yeah. It's definitely like a pioneer in the suits.
Yeah.
And that's why unfortunately it falls into that category of like it looks dated and stuff. It's a cool suit, don't get me wrong. I love Michael Keaton's Batman, but it definitely improves big time in Batman Returns, which is higher on my list.
My number 10 is going to be the Batman Forever main suit. Like you said, it's more like the nipples are subtle. Like even though there was a shot in the movie where Nicole Kidman literally like plays with his nipples, it is a lot, like a lot less noticeable than the Batman and Robin film.
Yeah.
The promo images of Val Kilmer in the suit are pretty badass.
Yeah.
Like I know that the
it's almost like a Vogue magazine looking type thing.
A couple like cosplay people that I follow, I know that this is called like the Panther Cowl, right?
That's
and
cool.
it looks pretty cool. It's more like it feels almost like the Tim Burton and Michael Keaton suit, but more like sleek, I guess.
Yeah.
And the muted yellow on the chest symbol. It's a cool looking suit. I really don't like hate it. I think it's a good looking suit, but because there's so many better suits that beat it out, it's number 10 on my list.
Number 9, higher on my list, the Batman Bvs Armor, the like Dark Knight Returns armor. I like it for that reason that it was like ripped from the comic book page of Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns. And I love it. It's badass that he can fight someone like Superman. This is what I wanted Ben Affleck's Batfleck to progress as a character, almost be like the Iron Man, but the Tony Stark of the MCU, but in the DCU. Like he upgrades, he sees like, I've been fighting crime for 20 years. I see gods and aliens now. I have to upgrade different suits, different stuff like that. And I liked it. So it is bulky, yes, but it's very protective, I feel. It's very comic booky, and I love it for that reason.
Number 9 for me is going to be the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises suit. I thought this was going to be much higher on my list, but upon further review, we called Toronto. It was disallowed the goal.
There is no goal.
After seeing all the different suits that I have higher ranked, I was a little bit disappointed because I remember when 2008 when Dark Knight was coming out, there was like a promo image of Christian Bale in the new like that sleeker design on top of like a cop car, and it looked so badass. But upon like the years, like now that I've seen, I got spoiled with Ben Affleck, right? He's this beefy, brolic Batman. So now that I see him and like how comic accurate he is, when I see like
Christian Bale looks sick.
He's like sickly. Yeah, he's like sickly. He lost some weight because Christian Bale was yoked in Batman Begins, and he was like more beefy and bulky the way I like my Batman. But in Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, like he gets like that sleeker thing. He turns his neck, which I think is a great upgrade. But after seeing the different suits that I prefer over it, It's just too skinny. I could see Ben Affleck's Batman just like throwing him around, you know?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't hold up as well as I wanted it to. Number 8, moving on here, Kevin. What's your number 8?
Number 8, sticking in the vein of Christian Bale. Like you said, I thought like his suits would age a little bit better, but they're kind of just like middle of the road, but still not bottom of the barrel. The Batman Begins suit is number 8 for me. I like it because it's bulkier. See, it's like the tables are turned, right? Like I wish that the Dark Knight suit, like he was bulkier in it.
Yeah.
But I like his massiveness in the Batman Begins suit. But it's too not detailed enough for me to like it over the Dark Knight.
It's almost too simple.
It's too simple, too basic, yeah. And it's very lion-esque with the neck. He can't move it at all. But he did look very intimidating, and I do like it. But it's just kind of like, all right, number 8.
Yeah, see, I like that it has like almost like a lion's mane or the panther neck, right? Like that is my number 8 too. The Batman Begins suit. I like it a lot too. That it is beefier. I feel like it would almost be my number 2 if it would have a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
Because I love Batman Begins, and I just think like a beefier Batman is the way I always envision the character.
Picture the character.
Yeah, and like it's a cool looking suit. Like you said, it continues from like the Keaton aesthetic of like the all blacked out, the murdered out Batsuit, right? But even as a kid, seeing Batman Begins, I was like, oh man, I can't wait till they do a gray and black suit, you know? And eventually we get that in Ben Affleck's. But leading up to that, I was like, all right, like I just always assumed that the live action Batmans would have the black suit. It is a good look. It's a good looking suit.
It's a good looking suit.
But there's just better suits coming after it for me. So number 8.
Number 7 for me is, like I just said, the sleeker Batman in Dark Knight. I wish that he was bulkier in this suit, but it's so much more detailed and so much more of an upgrade, like you said, with the neck mobility and everything, that I just appreciate it a little bit more. It's a little bit more top notch, and that's why I like it a lot better. Even the way the symbol is like cut out, it's not as like big. It's a little bit more.
It's
like
a smaller.
Symbol, yeah. It's almost more like, again, military with his vehicles and everything, and so that's why I like this one a little bit more than the Batman Begins suit for Christian Bale.
My number 7 is gonna be Robert Pattinson's Batsuit. I feel like this could be eventually my number 1 or number 2. It's actually no, it's never gonna be my number 1. It could be like my number 2, but like I feel like it's gonna go higher on the list the more and more I watch the film. There are some things I absolutely hate about this suit. Like I hate that his the mask comes up to like
So
above
high.
his ear. Yeah, like if it was a little bit more streamlined, like right here, but instead it shows too much of it. He's too exposed, chin wise. But seeing it in live action, it is a beautiful suit. I love the collar, like the neck collar. I love how like military it looks. That initial like promo of him coming out in the red lighting was so badass. But again, I don't like the gauntlets, and I don't like how high it goes up. And it feels very reminiscent of like vampirical, almost like Dracula.
Yes, yeah.
And for that reason, I love it. Like I said, a few years from now, maybe this will go higher on my list. It reminds me of I'm a big fan of the White Knight Batman series, and it feels a lot like that. It'll go higher on my list in the future, but for now, it's at number 7.
Number 6 for me is going to be the Justice League Snyder cut, almost like Owlman version,
the tactical suit,
Night Owl version of the character. Yeah, the tactical suit where he's got the goggles. Sucker for that.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. What I was saying is that I want to see him upgrade with the suit, accessorize a little bit as he was progressing as a character, and I thought that Zack Snyder could have made, even we saw the concept art of the unreleased Batman movie of what they were doing with that, and I was like, that might have been my favorite Batman suit ever with the concept art. Please throw that up. I was just like, man, Ben Affleck was the perfect Batman in my opinion, and if you gave us more suits, I would have bought the crap out of every single toy line.
Exactly.
This one is so sick looking because it almost like has a little bit more brighter gray, I feel like. It's weird to explain, but it's very Watchmen-esque, and that's why I love this suit. Number 6 on my list, though.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it going here because it's also my number 6, the JL tactical suit. Like you said, too, when I first saw Watchmen, I felt like that was like the peak of superhero costumes in film, right?
Yes.
Cinema.
Yeah.
They just looked so badass in that movie, a very
Ripped
Night
from
Owl.
the page.
Yeah, so like when I saw that this before like the whole shenanigans of Justice League, but they released that image of Ben Affleck's Batman in that tactical suit, like pulling down that thing on like the bat, wing, whatever like that machine, the armor he had. I remember being like, damn, he looks cool with like the goggles. It was very Night Owl because even when I saw Watchmen, I was like, damn, I wish whoever made this movie would make a Batman movie. And he did, but he didn't.
Eat those words for the rest of your life.
Exactly. Those words would later hurt me and like live in regret for the rest of my life. He does look badass in this like tactical suit.
It's the goggles for me, man.
The goggles are sick, and also like it's it's the BVS suit, which is a little bit more armor, right? So like now he can fight parademons and aliens and keep up with the Justice League, and I love that. I want to see a Batman that could do the street crime noir stuff, but also keep up with aliens and gods.
Yes,
so,
sir.
I love the suit. Number 6 for both of us. Damn near made its top 5. That's crazy.
Yeah. Going into the top 5, my number 5 is the BVS. Same thing, Ben Affleck. The Nightmare suit. It's not quite top tier, but this was such a suit to see live action.
Definitely.
I was like, man, this is a cool take. It's almost like a cool Elseworld take. That's why I can't really rank it as like top 3.
As like a suit.
Because it's not really a Batman suit. It's like an Elseworld suit. And the Joker card on the gun, everything about just the freaking trench coat is
Talk
so
to
bad.
me. Talk to me.
Talk to me. The trench coat is so badass. It's really just Ben Affleck's suit with a trench coat on it and a gun
And like camo pants.
and camel pants. Yeah, but it's just so like urban guerrilla warfare that I just like eat it up, man.
Definitely. Number 5 is going to be the Batman '89 suit. I know you had it ranked much lower than me. I
Yeah.
feel like this thing is like the gold standard as far as like live action Batman suits. There's a reason that they were like using it for so long as a template. And I love that it
To the
has
point
like,
that it like decayed and they had to rebuild
Yeah,
it
yeah.
to preserve it and stuff.
It's a gorgeous suit. Even you recently went to Warner Brothers and you showed me pictures of it. It still holds up. It's a beautiful suit. It does have its flaws as far as like I said, like the mask is like rubbery to the point where it expands and you can like easily get inside it and stuff. It's just weird.
You could
And
like fish gill it in there.
yeah. It's like easily vulnerable, but it's a beautiful suit. I love the logo on it, the bright yellow with like that weird looking Tim Burton bat symbol on it.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the bright yellow bat belt, but I hate the abs.
Really?
And that's a reason why, like, I love the Batman Return suit so much better, and we'll talk about that in a minute as well. But this is still a top 5, but the abs is what throws it off. It's too dated for me at this point.
Too like plastic Walmart attachment.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, if you don't have abs, don't paint it on. You know, it's like it's for that reason. It's my number 5.
Number 4, I want to like it more, but it's gonna be Robert Pattinson's Batsuit. It's just too awkward looking. It's very DIY. I hate the horns. I feel like they could snap off at any moment.
Yeah. There's something about the cowl that's just not right.
Something about the cowl is just so awkward. It reminds me a lot of Daredevil, Netflix, and for that reason I like it, but it's just too copy and paste that it's like, this is Batman. Like, you should have a little bit more design, creativity with it.
Yes.
But it does expose his eyes and the craziness of Bruce Wayne. So I like that. I'm not a huge fan of the collar, but that one scene where he's walking in the back towards the crime scene is so, like you said, Dracula and just bat. And I'm like, this dude's crazy. And I love it for that reason. It's not really the most creative design with the armor, I feel. I even feel like the Dark Knight suit kind of beats it out in like the details. But I don't know, there's something about it that I do like.
Yeah, like I said, like the more I watch the movie, the better it's gonna get. I kind of love that it looks almost stitched like the Adam West costume with the nose.
Yeah, it's like a modern day
and
version
the
of
eyes.
Adam West.
But like you said, it's just awkward looking.
Yeah.
It looks better than I expected because it plays very well in the film. But as far as like all these bat suits, it just doesn't hold up.
I'm a sucker for boots, so the way that he just walks in like the modern day cowboy, and he's just literally wearing boots, I'm just like,
It is very badass. Like I said, the more I watch the movie, it might go up in my rankings in the future, but for now, I have it much lower than you, but it made your top 5. It could be my top 3, honestly, in the next few years.
I do want an upgrade though eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Number 4, I'm going to agree with you with the Nightmare Batman suit from BVS. I love this
I know
suit.
you love this thing.
I love this thing. There was actually I believe like a New York Comic Con exclusive piece that I should have just pulled the trigger on when it came out, because now it's like $1,000 and I can't pull the trigger on it now.
Then it was only 500.
But it is gorgeous, and I love that suit. I worship it. Like, it's so, like you said, it's like an Elseworlds, like a Mad Max, post-apocalyptic Batman. Like, it's not, you can't compare it to the rest of the other suits because it's just not a typical Batman suit. But as far as like aesthetic, this thing is badass.
Yeah.
Like you said, the trench coat, the Joker wild card on the gun, the camo pants, the goggles, like that desert aesthetic of him, like just fighting for his life among the Justice League members in a nightmare. I still want that movie. Give me that movie. I'll be in that movie.
It kind of reminds me of like the Elseworld, like I said, like Scott Snyder's like Dark Knight Metal or something like that.
Yeah.
And I even have like one of the toys where he's got like the Plastic Man guitar. He's got like the spikes on the shoulders. There's something so gothic and so metal about Batman that this suit reminded me of that, and I just ate it up.
Or even this one here too, the dark detective suit. Someone commented on my Instagram. They're like, "Oh, that's the Nightmare suit." I was like, "No." I was like, "It looks just like it." Like, there's so much you can do to accessorize the Batsuit to make it look so cool and like adapt it to like a punk rock story, a metal story, an army, like whatever you want it to be. You can kind of stretch the character. I love that suit, but it doesn't make the top 3 because it's not a typical Batman suit. We have made it to the top 3. Kevin, let's go. Number 3.
Number 3, Adam West. Adam West, top 3.
All right,
it's
I agree on this one.
Because just OG, the original gangster, man. You know, like this thing he's literally just wearing like cotton. And it works. My God, it works. The utility belt, useless. The underwear outside, the pants. As a kid, you just grow up eating that up. It's like the epitome of a superhero. How awkward he was. The painted on eyebrows and the nose.
And the nose pieces.
That's why I kind of appreciate Robert Pattinson's.
Because it's like a modern version.
It's like a reminder of that, yeah. And just the small ass Batman logo with his like.
I love the logo.
Non biceps, non pectoral muscles. I just love it. There's something about it. It's so classic, so comic booky. Eat it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. It's my number 3 as well. The colors on this thing, right? Even if you put it in black and white, it still looks like
it works.
It just works. Yeah, but in color, that was the whole thing, right? Batman in color on television. This guy was a rock star, man. When Adam West was a rock star, he did things that I can't even speak of. No, but
like go on record.
But he just looking at the thing. I love how big the belt is. I love how small the logo is. I love my Batman with short ears.
Yes.
And this is such like a comic accurate Batman. I love the blue, the colors of like the blue and the yellow and the gray. It just works so good, especially when you put him side by side with Robin. The juxtaposition of that red and green and yellow with the blue. Oh, God. It is so cartoonish, and I eat it up, and it's my number 3.
Number 2 for me is going to be the cleaned up version of the 89 suit, Michael Keaton's Batman and Batman Returns. The abs are a little bit more streamlined, and I do appreciate that. This thing just looks so clean. Like the way... Crisp. Yeah, the way like the cowl goes into the cape with like that. I don't even know how to explain it. Like that,
it's like the bat wing looking.
It's
thing.
like the wing. Yeah, it's just something about
it's just
it, man.
aesthetically pleasing. Yeah,
the logo is cleaned up a little bit. I feel like the cowl's cleaned up. Everything about it is just cleaned up, cranked up to 11. And this thing is nostalgia fuel. Number 2 for me, but not quite number 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you too. I feel like I believe we got the same top 3, but number 2 for me is also gonna be Batman Returns Tim Burton suit. This thing is like the goth embodiment of Batman. Especially the lighting on this thing is impeccable.
His eyes, everything.
Everything is perfect about this suit. It's everything great about the 89 suit, and like you said, just cranked up. They put more money into the franchise. Like the movie star, the Batmania. This is the suit you want to see. I just feel like this is Tim Burton's vision for Batman. It's beautiful. Like you said, it's simple, cleaned up, streamlined, and just immaculate. I love this suit.
He was number 1. You already know what it is.
You knew what this thing was coming in.
It's game time.
Number 1, the greatest look that we'll ever see of Batman. Ben Affleck and Batman vs Superman. This thing is perfection. Ripped straight from the comic books.
Absolutely.
Not even just like the Dark Knight Returns. I know that was the main influence behind it, but this thing is ripped straight from any Batman comic book that like I want to read or I want to see. Like as a kid, this was the suit that I wanted to see live action, and my God, we got it. This thing is perfection.
I even like how I know we've said that Robert Pattinson is kind of like a modern adaptation of the Adam West. This was too because it has the short ears, right?
Yeah.
And even the eyebrows are kind of, the nose and everything. It's got like crow's feet like ingrained
like
in the
wrinkles.
older Batman, and I really like that. This thing, we're never going to see a perfected Batsuit like this.
It's never going to be this good again, so I hope you guys are all happy with what you did.
Ruin the DCEU.
Because we're never going to see this thing again. It was perfection. And even like that initial shot they released, Zack Snyder released of him, like you said, like it kind of looked like a beefier Adam West. Like it was like that blue tint. Even the scene where he's looking at Ben Affleck's Bruce is looking at it. It's so like the animated series. Right? It's got like a blue tint to it, but it reminds me so much of the animated series of him just like staring at like his like different his wardrobe
in the
of
glass
Batsuits.
cases. Yeah.
And like this is what I always wanted to see. Like I feel like Batman the Animated Series is like the perfect version of Batman, and if it was ever made live action, this is what it would have been. And I love it. I hate that we don't have it anymore. It really pisses me off.
Yeah,
to me, it
never
reminds me.
realized its full potential. I feel.
Yeah, and like even with like the concept art we were talking about like the Batman of Ben Affleck's versus the Deathstroke, like he was gonna have upgrades, almost like the Arkham game. I felt like it looked cool, but like just stick to this, man. Don't break the formula. This thing is perfect.
I wouldn't mind have seen like upgraded and different versions, variations, but this is absolute A16 sauce, 10 out of 10. Take my money.
Yeah.
Ripped from the comic book.
Yep.
It's incredible. This better be like across the board #1 for people. If people say Robert Pattinson, recency bias is all. That's all I got to say about that, because this thing is the perfect Batman suit. Exactly. He's even like brolic. He's like, but he's fast too. He's like bulletproof. You could tell that this guy could take shots, take knives, anything. And he looks like a lion in this thing. Like
it's like scary.
It's like Dark Knight Returns, where he's like beefy. If I saw this version of the Batman out of the shadows, I'm running the other way, because this guy's gonna kick my ass.
Well, it annoys me too, because like everybody says, oh, like the suit is what made Ben Affleck look cool and like big and beefy. No, like Ben Affleck is like 6'4", like 230. He was an animal in this thing, and people say that the Robert Pattinson suit, oh, he's skinny, he's like agile, speedy. No, the warehouse scene just showcases how fast, brutal, and beefy this Batman is, and how perfect he is. And like I said, the aesthetic of that, we'll never see it again. Rest in peace to the perfect Batman.
Rest in power.
This is perfection. This is #1 on our list. It should be #1 on everybody's lists.
What's your guys' favorite Batsuit? Let us know in the comments below. Anyways, that about wraps up today's episode of Twin Talk. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, comment below to join the discussion, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you next time. Peace!